I love credit unions. I just do. I joined my first credit union when I was 19 years old or 18 years old. It was Pentagon Federal Credit Union when I was a civilian employee with the Air Force back at the tail end of the Vietnam War. And I worked in the Pentagon, and one of the officers, when we were talking about what I was going to do with my paychecks, said, well, you should join the bank downstairs. And I said, well, what is it? And he said, it's Pentagon Federal Credit Union. I didn't know what a credit union was. And so I went in and I joined Pentagon Federal, and I was a member for a long, long time. And then eventually I joined a different credit union when I moved to another part of the country, Government Employees Credit Union, that then was merged out of existence into something else. And today I'm in Navy Federal Credit Union. And I love the whole purpose of credit unions, to be a co-op, to serve the members, and to provide services to members at a better price than you could get otherwise. And I talk about how credit unions tend to be either borrowers' credit unions or savers' credit unions. The difference being some credit unions are all about giving the highest possible rate on savings and CDs, far above what a typical bank offers, or they may be one that offers really good rates on loans. If you offer really good rates on loans, it usually means you're not paying as much on the savings side. But that's why I always talk about with car loans, you go to a credit union, because credit unions tend to have an interest rate much lower than a bank and a zillion percent lower than financing a vehicle at a dealer, as most people do. They'd be much better served by being a credit union member and prearranging financing at that credit union. So all I've said so far is, isn't this wonderful, isn't this wonderful, isn't this wonderful, isn't this great? Now I get to tell you what's not so great. There's a new disclosure law in California that requires credit unions to do a lot of filings credit unions have never had to do as co-ops. And they have to disclose how much money they're making from various fees, for one thing. And Politico sent a reporter loose to figure out, were credit unions really offering people a good deal or not? And what was stunning is that there were a bunch of credit unions that they found that were charging extremely large overdraft fees or insufficient funds fees to their members, higher than even the high fees that a lot of banks charge. Let me tell you, that was really distressing to me. Very, very upsetting. And I think I may be wrong, but I feel like we got this article from a listener of the podcast. I may be wrong about that. Am I right about that, Krista? Did we initially,
so.
or did I found it in my regular reading?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you're right. It did come in. A couple people did send it in to us, but you also had seen it. But yes, no, a couple people did send it to us, and I mentioned that to you.
So both were true at the same time.
Yes.
It's like I'm in DBT.
I read so many emails that I forget.
Anyway,
yes.
So this is something that is. I was agitated reading the Politico story because credit unions, by their very creation, are supposed to be there by and for the membership. And we do get complaints about a credit union doing this crazy thing or that crazy thing or the other. So it's forcing me to rethink how I explain it. And it's good sometimes to have more nuance than sometimes my brain is able to generate. And so as a general rule, a credit union is a great place to have your money because being there by and for the membership, you're going to get a better shake, a better deal generally at a credit union. But there are credit unions, large, small, and in between. There are credit unions that are managed very well. There are credit unions where the board keeps the focus where it's supposed to be for the benefit of the membership. Then there are others not so much, apparently. So I need to stop painting with such a broad brush. And that's really the message of this. Yes, I love credit unions, but not all credit unions are created equal.